Hi, I'm Terry Brock with terrybrock.com, and you are in for a treat now as I get a chance to talk with my mentor, a person who has helped me enormously and is going to help you in the next few minutes. His name is Harvey Mackay, and he joins us from his office in Minneapolis. Harvey, thanks for being with us today.
Terry, I am elated to be with you. Looking forward to this.
Great to be with you, and I'm really excited about your book here. You've got the Mackay MBA of Selling in the Real World. Harvey, I have read every one of your books, and I've got to say, on this one, you hit it out of the park. It was fabulous, even better than what you've done before, which was fabulous. And the information you packed in there really has a lot of usable things for today's environment, because a lot of people are a little bit discouraged in today's economy. They see what's going on, but when I read your book, you give a lot of ideas on that. What would you say to the person who's watching this is thinking, oh, gee, it's kind of tough. Maybe they're laid off, or maybe their business isn't as good as it is. What would you say to them based on what you put in the book that would help them in the real world in today's environment?
Well, I think I can share with them my long-term philosophy, which is probably my favorite chapter in the book, and that is practice makes perfect. That's not true, Terry.
Correct.
You have to add one word, perfect. Practice makes perfect. You can practice something time and time again. And if you don't know what you're doing, what you're really doing is perfecting an error. You've put a ceiling on how good you can become. So there are about 20 million golfers out there out of a population of 310 million. Let's just take golfers, for example. You can play golf 8 days a week. You can practice golf 8 days a week. And if you've got a loop in your swing, what are you doing? You're perfecting an error. You put a ceiling on how good you can become. So here's the bottom line. If we had 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 2 hours, 20 hours, and we're going to talk, Terry, the most important thing that I could say to the people out there right this very minute would be as follows. I have coaches. The reason why I have coaches is because I want to practice the right concepts. I have a speech coach. I have a writing coach. I have a humor coach. I have a marathon coach. I've run 10 marathons, Boston's and New York's and Twin Cities marathons. I have a golf coach. I have a bowling coach. I have a skiing coach. I have a tennis coach. I've got a language coach. I've studied Russian, Chinese, Japanese, and Arabic. Why do I have all of these coaches, Terry? And here's the key. And I can hear some people right now saying to themselves, oh, yeah, sure. He's got a little bit of money. He's successful. He can afford those coaches. No. No, it's not a matter of affording those coaches. I make an investment in myself, and I get it back 10, 15, 20 times. So the reason, bottom line, why I have coaches is as follows. Whatever my God-given talent is, whatever my God-given potential is, that's it. I can't get any better. I make a decision. What do I want to achieve? I have a time and action calendar. A goal is a dream with a deadline. I focus on it. I just try my guts out with my coach. Guess what, Terry? I can't do any better.
Exactly, because you're able to bring in the people and the resources you need and use them. And I've seen you do that through the years. Matter of fact, I was looking back, you and I have known each other now almost 20 years.
Correct.
And I've seen you consistently do that over and over. And I noticed it was in, I think it's chapter 6 in your book, you talk about getting the coaches and doing that. And those of you that are watching this, make sure you read that section. Each of the chapters out of the 85 chapters, you have 82 plus 3 extras in there. They're really good and do that. But Harvey, I wanted to ask you, how do you find the right coaches? Someone says, yeah, okay, I agree with you, Harvey, I want to get it. How do you go about finding the right people and not getting a lot of wasted time, money, and effort and wasting someone that wouldn't, you shouldn't have?
That's a wonderful question. I think if I could go out and get 100 persons, men and women, very successful in the country, just even go to NSA, National Speakers Association, which, of course, where we share all our wonderful experiences. Let's take the 100 top people there. I think the common denominator would be the word network. These people have become successful and happy, all right, because of the network they built. So therefore, when you go find these mentors, if you've got some friends, if you, what I call, dig your well before you're thirsty.
Yes, great book, by the way.
That I wrote. All right, you already then have your network. and therefore you can do it. And of course, in the palm of our hand, of course, is this technology that we're using right now. I mean, it's unbelievable, again, and beyond comprehension. You can go on the internet and you can find almost anybody, any research, any coach. And don't be afraid, of course, to ask for the order. So I think that's a very simple thing to do with today's technology. But you start with your own individual network.
That makes sense, and I think that's right. Matter of fact, in your book, again, there in chapter 75, you talk about networks, and you said something that really helped me a lot, that your personal network is not your business network. And I thought for the longest time, oh, gee, I got to get this network, and it'll be like one, and I need to find the perfect person in each one, and I was wrong. But you helped me on a lot of that. Please tell us a little bit more about that, about the different kinds of networks, plural, that we need to have.
Yes, they're absolutely, unequivocally not the same. And again, your social networks are your social networks. Your business networks are your business networks. Sometimes in your working environment, within your own industry, your industry network is your own industry network. You can't just call upon, example that I use in the book, just because I knew someone socially, and I'm a buddy of his, and we graduated high school together, and I saw him at the reunion. Now I go make a call on him to sell him my product. It doesn't work that way. I'm definitely going to get the business because he's been in my network. Doesn't work that particular way.
You're right.
Little things mean a lot, Terry. Not true. Little things mean everything, and you have to keep up all of your networks.
Yeah. So how do you do that? How do you keep them refreshed? And that's the real trick. You know, you've met these people, you've seen them, you saw them at the convention, you sent a note saying, hey, great to meet you at the convention in Kansas City last week. How do you stay in touch with them, Harvey?
It's a terrific question. And, here's my father got a hold of me. He was a writer, headed the Associated Press in the Twin Cities.
Yeah, Jack Mackay.
Minneapolis, where I'm calling from right this very moment, for 35 years. He got a hold of me age 18, Terry. Ooh. And he said the following: every person you meet the rest of your life goes into a Rolodex file. A long time ago, of course. Today it's the computer. All right? And your iPhone, whatever, Droid. All right. Whoever you meet, you make a record of it. You write it down in your Rolodex. Now here's the key. Put a little bit about them on the back of the card. And now the real key to your question is find a underlined creative way to keep in touch. That's what I've been doing since age 18. Example, every Sunday for the first 25 years I was in the business world, I would spin to win. What does that mean? I take my Rolodex out, start spinning, calling the people all around the country. Every Sunday, I could reach 100 different people. How are you doing? I knew a little bit about them. How are the kids? So-and-so graduated from high school. Oh, I see your Notre Dame team got knocked off because he or she is a Notre Dame graduate. That's number one, spin to win. Number two, short notes yield huge results. So I clip everything. I probably send 300-400 FYIs for your information, congratulatory notes, okay? Even conversely, people that have had problems in their business, might have had some problems on the business page, I keep in touch with them through those short notes. And then let me give you probably one of the most creative. His name was Dick Berkeley, Mayor Dick Berkeley, Kansas City. I think he was four-time mayor. Have to turn the clock back a little bit, a couple decades ago. But what did he do? How did he get elected? Got elected because of his creativity. And what was that? He kept a little camera, always the most modern camera. Everywhere he went, Symphony Ball, Chamber of Commerce, Kiwanis, Rotary, whatever. He took pictures, hundreds, thousands of pictures. FYI, for your information, sent them out everywhere. Who do you think those people voted for when they walked into that booth?
Yep.
That was the single most important reason how he built his network. And here's another thing I want to say very constructively, and I hope the listeners and the viewers, okay, would be doing the following. Pale ink is better than the most retentive memory, which means write these ideas down. Write them down. Yes. Very, very important. Now, everyone should know the following, Terry. There is no correlation, none, zero correlation between IQ and creativity. every single listener out there, viewer, okay, can become way more creative than he or she ever dreamed about. If they know that, that'll help them immeasurably.
I like it. Harvey, that's so true because we can be creative and stay in touch. And one of the things I love about what you do, and you talk about in the book so well, is you blend the best tried and true practices from before, say that would work back in the 1960s, the 1950s, and the work in the 1860s of being close to people, but you also blend it with current state-of-the-art information. I work a lot with technology, as you know, and I have to say, the kind of things you're not just saying, oh, yes, you need to use Twitter or Facebook. No, no, no. You go way beyond that. Because in the book you're saying, here's how you research that, talking with Sam Richter and some of the people that you're working with. Tell us a little bit about the importance of blending those tried and true principles with whatever the current technology is and how you do that.
Well, first of all, I can't give you an A on your exam, final exam. You get an A+. It's like you've memorized those 70,000 words between the covers. Yes, Sam Richter's a chapter in there, and they should go to samrichter.com. He wrote a book called Take the Cold Out of Cold Calling. I explain that in there substantively and in depth. And let me give you a perfect example. It's called The Invisible Web. Terry, let's say I'm calling on you. I don't care if I'm selling widgets, envelopes, nuts and bolts, doesn't matter what, insurance, securities. The philosophy will not change. The concept that I'm talking about will not change. So I don't want to make a cold call. I want to prepare to win. You know, boring, but you got to do your homework. And let me just put it in reverse for a minute, if I may. And then I'll come right back to this point because it's so very important. I've written 7 books times 7 is 490,000 words in those books. I've written 1,250 columns with my national syndicated column, which goes to 10 million newspapers every week, once a week for the last 19 years. And the common denominator in all of my columns, in all of my books, in all of my speeches, which is once a week for the last 52 weeks a year for the last 24 years, whatever that multiplies out to, Pakistan, India, China, Burma, you name it, okay? But the underlying common denominator is prepare to win.
Yes.
Boring. No one's going to buy a book, Prepare to Win, but that's what Swim with the Sharks Without Being Eaten Alive is. That's what the Mackay MBA of selling is throughout the whole book. So now I'm going to call on you, Terry. Okay, right? I want the order, want the business, or you're going to hire me. I'm coming in here and I want a job. Guess what? It's not a cold call. I've done my homework. So I go to the Invisible Web through Sam Richter, thank you, and it's in the pages how to do that in the book. I can find out, Terry, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Independent. I can find out if you're a golfer. You know, there's 20 million golfers out there, what your golf scores are, what your handicap is, hard to believe, all your averages, what golf courses you play. I can find out where you've written checks to. I can find out all the nonprofits, where you live, kind of home you live in. And guess what? It's honest, it's ethical, it's moral, because it's out there. It's out there. It's all public information. It's the deep web. It's the invisible web. So that's how you blend the psychology, okay, of the high technology with the old philosophies that still, now here someone might disagree with me, but guess what? Nothing new in the last 75 years from my perspective as far as being successful. The most important word in that book is 5 letters. T-R-U-S-T, trust.
Yes.
Without it, you don't have a marriage, you don't have partners, you don't have customers, you don't have a life. So in order to be a successful salesperson, who also is the unsung hero of today's business world. Why? Because there are no jobs, there are no businesses, there are no factories until someone brings the business through the front door.
Right.
And so that salesperson, again, is key. And what are the qualities that make that successful person? Right? How does he or she become successful? With trust, with passion, with patience, with perseverance, with loyalty, with startups, okay, self-starter, and on I could go. You have to have that, then blend, fuse the old with the new technology, wow.
Yep.
You cannot help under any set of circumstances not to be successful and happy.
You're right, Harvey. It's a matter of not either or, but both and. You blend them together. And you've embraced that. I've seen you do that through the years. I mean, years ago when we met, you were working with Sharkware. Remember that? A great little tool. And I loved it. The information where we could keep track of contact management worked very well. And today, you know that it's important to do it online with LinkedIn, with Twitter, with the big four. So we're using those: Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, using all of those. And then who knows what it'll be a few years from now. But you're able to adapt and embrace those and use that. And I compliment you on that.
Can I put a PS on top? I think this would be a very good time with this technology. But I always write about, in fact, it's one of the subtitles of one of my books, deliver more than you promise.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's what I intend to do with this book, the Mackay MBA of Selling in the Real World. So, Terry, to your listeners, I just started this in the last 24 hours. Again, I like to study creative people, and just out of the box, I thought this: hey, how am I going to deliver more than I promise on this book? Well, all anyone has to do is buy the book, okay? As long as you're going to buy the book, all you have to do is go to harveymackay.com/bonus, and they will get a $12.95 networking book from me. Can't buy it anywhere else. It's a fabulous book. It's a gold mine. They can download it, and we'll give them the information if they go there, or I will send them a book. Okay, no charge, shipping, everything included.
Wow.
It's a beautiful networking book. Again, Harvey Mackay, MACKAY.com/bonus.
Well, that is wonderful. Thank you very much for doing that. Or as I'd say in Russian, spasibo bolshoy, or arigato gozaimashita over in Japan.
Thank you.
Very good. Yeah, I think that kind of information will be good on there. Now, another thing I want to ask you, Harvey, you're in the midst of, right now, as we're recording this, you are just going nonstop. You're hitting, I think, 28 cities in 31 days, something like that. And even for a young guy like you at 25 years old, that's a lot of work. You know, I want to ask you something about that. It's
pardon me,
important.
Terry, the last couple words.
Oh, that's pretty good for a 25-year-old of your age. And so we know that that's quite a task. But I want to find out, we know that to be successful today in selling, etc., physical fitness is very important. And that's something that you not only talk about, but you embrace. Could you give us a few tips on how do you stay fit, particularly when you're in that crunch time? You're in a crunch time now, all these cities, all that you're doing right now. How do you keep physically strong and going?
I get the gist of it, Terry. First of all, let me just say this. I figured out what I want on my tombstone a couple months ago. Okay, he couldn't sleep fast enough, which means, of course, I'm afraid to go to sleep. I don't want to go to sleep. I'm excited like a little kid. I'm curious. I want to know what's out there. There's so many exciting things happening. So you can't do that rigorous schedule at 28 cities in 32 days, of course, without keeping in good shape. And that's why I'm a lucky guy. I've been able to run 10 marathons, New York, 5 New Yorks, Boston Marathon, 4 Twin Cities, side by side with my coach. I'll repeat that with my coach so that I'd be practicing the right concepts to be a good marathoner. I have a trainer. I have a stretch coach. I have a personal coach. I'm out there again, still exercising all of the time, lifting weights, staying in tip-top shape, which keeps me, of course, mentally very sharp. Watching my diet, again, through my coaches. So practicing those right concepts over a long period of time has given me that untold energy that you are speaking about. And I guess I'm kind of proud to mention that.
Excellent. Well, you are doing a great job with that, and I compliment you on that. And I think that's something important for our viewers that are seeing this to know that it's really important. And Harvey, again, your book that you have is just fabulous. I've read your other books. This one is just outstanding. It's not a one read through. I'm on my 3rd reading on this one. It is very, very good. And I say that to the viewers to say, you've got to go out and get it. I think if it were $300,000, it would be a bargain. But I think you sell it for a little bit less than that. Is that correct, Harvey?
I think so. It's at Amazon.com. It's all the Barnes & Noble stores, anywhere where there's a bookstore. Money back guarantee.
Yeah, I was going to ask
You
you about that. You were
didn't know
wild and
about
crazy
that on the
doing
back
that.
page. Did you see that, Terry?
I saw that. I think that's fabulous. I know you did it before. Tell
Let
me
me
about this. Doesn't make sense. Money back. Tell us about that. How do you
let me
get a
get
money
it.
back guarantee on the book?
It's a brief aside, but true story. When I wrote Swim with the Sharks, late '80s, again, I wanted to be very creative, thinking outside, as you just said moments ago, my own box. And so I had a World War III fight with my publisher. I wanted to be the first author in the United States to say money back guarantee if you don't like Swim with the Sharks. 6 weeks later, I did prevail. I won the battle and the war. 5 million copies sold, still selling 250,000 a year, 24 years later. 5 million copies sold then. 18 people asked for their money back. 7 of them were my best friends. So I put the, I guess they wanted to keep me humble. So I put the money back guarantee again in this Mackay MBA book, and kind of proud of it and looking forward to see what happens.
Well, Harvey, it's a marvelous book, and it gives a lot of real world, not just pie in the sky things, but real world applications that we can use in today's environment. And it blends, again, as we said, the best and tried and true principles with technology that really works. I work with technology. You're watching this thinking, oh, well, I already know about it. And I know Twitter, 140 characters. No, 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 no. We don't talk about that. Harvey goes way beyond that for information that you can use in a practical way. Harvey, our mutual friend, Jeffrey Gitomer, we know talks about the ways that you can use Social Boom right now, his new book, and the things that are there. You're doing this in your book as well. And so I really appreciate what you're doing. I know all of us that are looking at your book appreciate it. And when just the life that you live, the way that you do it, you're helping us. And thank you very much for that, sir.
Terry, it's really been an honor to be with you. I just can't tell you. And looking forward to seeing you at many, many more NSA, National Speakers Association meetings. And of course, we always salute and applaud Jeffrey Gitomer. He's one of a kind. I think they threw the die away when they made Jeffrey.
Yeah, exactly. I've known Jeffrey for a while. He's just a great guy and really knows what he's doing and really cares for people. The way he does what he does, I think it's great. And I think that goes back to the things that you have taught me through the years, to network and be genuine and care, because people can see through a fake. They can see somebody that's just doing it for ulterior motives, and we do it genuinely. We really help others. And Harvey, that's what you do, and you're a great role model for many of us, including me.
Well, I know when I shake hands with you, and the first time I met you, I said to myself, right up my little brain bank here, there's a guy that's authentic. And
well,
that's about the nicest compliment I could pay you. Do we have time for one more quickie?
Please, by all means, Harvey.
Okay, well, it's something that just because you just triggered my mind with your last thoughts. But I have also a couple pages in there on reciprocity without keeping score. This is kind of a way of life. My father taught it to me, again, at age 18, 19, and 20, just like he taught me the Rolodex. But here's what I believe. Now, I'm a lucky guy. Lou Holtz is my closest friend. Many people know him. 11 years at Notre Dame, national champions, Hall of Fame in his first year, ESPN, a sports analyst right now, extraordinarily popular, but we're joined at the hip. He's the best friend I have in the whole world outside of my family. And many stories, incidentally, are woven throughout this book about Lou Holtz. And he wrote the introduction to this book, the Mackay MBA, which I'm very proud of. But if you were to meet Holtz in an airport, at a hotel, convention, whatever, I guarantee you in blood, Terry, when he says goodbye, he'll look you right in the eye and he'll say, if I can ever help you, you let me know. You call me. But guess what? He means it. You see? And so my father then taught me, before I even met Lou Holtz, same philosophy, but he took it even a half a step further. And this is as follows. Once I meet you, hi, my name's Terry. Hi, my name's Harvey. Okay, right again to my brain bank, what can I do for Terry? But now here's the key. They expect nothing in return. And when you can live that kind of life, when you can go through week after week, month after month, year after year, having your antenna up, how you can help other people, I can't begin to tell you how life-changing that is. Like all your listeners out there, to really try to practice that a little while, and they really will not believe what's going to happen to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Harvey, somebody says, wow, this is great. I want to find out more information. Of course, we know they can go to Amazon, and they should buy the copy and get plenty of copies for their friends and family. But what's the best way, again, for them to reach you?
Well, the best way is if they go to harveymackay.com/bonus, they will get that $12.95 book either sent to them, no charge, my networking book. I might add, it's got 20 pages in there of my Harvard MBA speech, which I'm very proud of, and you can't buy this networking book anywhere. So they can download it, they'll find out how to download it, and they'll get that $12.95 book. No proof of purchase, not interested in that. They're on their word. I believe your audience is, Terry, and as long as they're going to buy the book, be my guest and hit that space.
Excellent. Well, Harvey, again, spasiba bolshoi and arigato gozaimashita. Muchas gracias, senor. You're wonderful, and you really live your life a way that we can look at and model. It's an honor to be with you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you again. Bye-bye.